Hello everybody, it's Crazy Logic 007 on YouTube, Crazy Logic's in the forums, and everybody else just calls me Damon. Uh, Part 2, this one's a little bouncy around. You have to stick with me. Messed up in some video recording and stuff, so I'll go with it and try to fix it as best I can. Did all those power supplies. This Peter Chew one, I don't know if we focused on it very much, but it didn't have any blown fuses. I checked everything, nothing was bad. But this whole uh, terminal strip wobbled, and I didn't even record it. I looked in the back, and every one of the solder joints here was wallered out, and it wasn't really making any contact. So real quick, I hit it, and then I was like, well, I kind of need to test it. So I put a cord on it, and this thing works. It was just purely that these terminals were not making good contact. So we can put this one back together. That's going to make one out of that pile of non-working ones works, just because just needed some soldering. So that's a win. That gets me the one I needed. I just needed one more technically to be able to have a cook-in power supply to let the some games just sit there and run, let everything get warm and stuff. So this one has an insulator that sets down in here. This sticks through. Make sure your eye comes through. Make sure it's all sitting down in there. That insulator keeps that there. It has a ground that we do need to make sure gets reattached. That's on there permanent like. Let's do that. Get this together, and then the next bit of footage is where I screwed up. I was trying to videotape me shopping on Mauser for all these parts, and I had videotaped buying the transistors that we needed, and I do go into some detail a little bit further on, so it's worth watching. But I missed everything on the capacitors where I was buying, and you'll hear me mention, oh look, radial or axial. When you're buying capacitors, and I'm posting this video mostly just for information to help guys that are new into getting components. Everybody seems to ask, where do I get this? How do I buy this? Oh my God, I need this cap, and there's a million online. And so I've been trying to add some me shopping online and how to do it. You measure your I may have done this in some of my amplifier videos too, but you're going to measure your diameter, your height. Sometimes you can go a little taller. Sometimes you can go a little wider in the diameter if there's room, but most of the time, normally diameter is pretty important. This is a radial style capacitor. Both the leads come out the both ends. If one lead came out this side and one lead came out that side, it would be axial. So think of, since it would have a lead from each side, it would roll like an axle. That makes it axial. So that's what I mean when I start talking about fuses and it being axial whenever we go shopping. And I'll bring up, my parts have come in. So we're going to go backwards in time here in a minute to when I was ordering parts. And this one's wanting to be a bear to get the tabs in. There's a pair of tabs here on the bottom that hook into these slots. So we need to make sure they do that. There we go. All right, now we get the screws out. We get this one put back together, and hey, I got a working one. You know what? It's worth taking stuff apart, giving it a good look-see. Never know when something's just as simple as broken solder joints on the main power strip. So, don't know how good, bad, or ugly this power supply is. Obviously, it was labeled as good and working there for a little while. And then I'm assuming that it was probably dangling or wasn't mounted well. These just got worked over, worked over, worked over. It's like I need to find some extra screws. This one doesn't have all the screws to attach this heatsink up perfectly. That's all right. I will find some more. But I'll show this at the end hooked up, and we'll put the meter on it, and maybe I'll find some screws. So we're going to jump into the shopping and what I've found there on some capacitors. Unfortunately, I'll do more capacitors. I haven't done some in the amplifier videos, but we jump into it. We do go over the fuse a little bit. It's just, a little bit of the stuff, and I'll try to include more in all my videos of shopping for parts, because I know some people get overwhelmed, and I want to be helpful. So that's been cleaned off. This one's good. I'll find a screw for it. We're going to jump right into the shopping thing. We're talking about some capacitors, and then we'll come back. So as I was shopping for the other capacitors, I found a 1000 microfarad 16-volt one. The cheapest I could get was $1.08. And the next price break was 50 of them. So I was just going to order 4. But then whenever I looked at the 25 volt, which was the same microfarad, same diameter, same lead spacing, I found another Chemet. I could get those for 56, so I just ordered 10 of those, because each one of them uses 2, and then it's going to use 2. It's okay to go up in voltage. It's not going to hurt, so I can get 10 of those, and I can get rid of that. I just saved some money, and now I've got me a few of those to go. So now on to shopping for fuses. So to shop for fuses, we go up to products, we go to circuit protection, over to fuses, and fuses with leads through hole. That's why I love Mauser. Mauser makes all their descriptions nice. We had said that it was a 3 amp fuse on here. Let me get my spectacles here. Fuse 3 amp, yes. So we're going to go with the current rating. Find 3 amp, and I'm going to go ahead and click in stock and apply the filters just to get it going. The voltage rating is going to have to be at least 220 volt, because that's what these are, so it's probably going to be that one. I don't know if I can tell what style they are. They're probably going to be fast blows. There's no reason for them to really be time delay. So over here, look at this termination style, axial and radial. Remember how we talked about radial had the 2 ends coming out of the cap, and the axial had a lead coming out of each end? We do want axial. These use axial, so we're gonna boom, and we're already down to just 19 available ones. See, we're gonna be looking at all these. Not any of these are glass except for maybe this one. Those are outrageous. That is not what we want. So we may go back to fuses. And we might want to look here in the body style instead. Leaded fuses. In stock. Apply. So now we're going to add 3 amps. And we need axial. We're down to 19. Now we're going to start scrolling through. Look, These are not what we're looking for. I mean, they're all going to work. We kind of want the glass style replaced to be the same. I'm not seeing anything alike here. They're all expensive. So I think what we may do is just measure that fuse and get standard glass fuses. Because we can always solder leads on. Cartridge fuses. Ah, there we go. That might be what we're looking for. Yeah. So, a cartridge fuse. Let's try that. Sometimes you just got to poke around and look a little bit. Yeah, and this includes glass fuses and stuff. Perfect. So let's go 3 amp in stock. Apply filters. We're already down to 108. Let's see if we can find axial. And we want Boardman. Apply filters. We're down to 33. So we got a ceramic fuse or a glass fuse. I'm pretty sure glass fuses are going to be much cheaper. See if we can find a ceramic in here. Ceramic fuse. Yeah, they're kind of expensive. So let's just go with the good old-fashioned glass fuse. That knocks us down to 26. Voltage AC rating, 50 volt. Probably a fast blow, but we're down to 17, so we can look through 17. And we're just going to look at prices as we go here. Aha, this is really nice. Super cheap. And that's everything. So, fast blow glass fuse. Let me look at these and see if I can, I'm going to pop out one of those others to see if I can see what style it is. Give me just a second. So I just pulled this one happens to have the fuse in the in a pair of clips, so I could pull it out. And it says GFE, which I don't know if that's a brand or glass fuse, fast acting or whatever. Tells the voltage, 3 amps, 250 volt. But you can tell if the thing would focus on there. There's just a single tiny little thin wire in there. So that is a fast blow style. And these glass fuses, if you look at them, the ones that have a skinny part and a fatter parts like that normally will be slow blow. They use the extra metal to help dissipate the heat, so it takes a little while longer to melt the fuse. So that's going to be fast acting. So we look over our screen, and this little cheapo Bell fuse that's in stock for 42 cents is a fast blow. It's 3 amp fuse. There's no reason for me to get anything but this. 10 of those. Buy it up. Continue shopping. And so I've got the fuse that we need. I've got the caps that we need. I've got the transistors that we need. There's the transistors. Now, this could present a problem. When we looked at this, let's take that 1307, copy, paste. Let's get rid of the FJ. Let's just see the P1309, bipolar transistors. They're all TO220-3s. And the reason why I say that's something different is because if you look at this, you'll see it looks like it's got a metal back. We're going to look at the data sheet. And yeah, it does look that it's got a metal back. So the reason why that'll be important to know is this style, probably that -2, was fully encased in plastic. So what that means is that when we get these in, you'll not be able to just stick them against the heat sink here. You're going to have to put something insulated, and we will use some Kapton tape, and we'll put some thermal compound on there to insulate those away from the heat sink. So that's very important to note. And I'll order some parts, and I'll kind of go through those others off camera to see what else we might need. Oh, we did. I'll look at this one. Oh, yes. We know this one had the goofed up transistors, or also. But its fuse was good. Its caps look good. So, a pair of diodes there. Those are the rectifiers for the main 5-volt. These are going to be that are on this big heat sink piece we're using. They're not shorted. I don't know why this one would have blown it. MOSFET, because I don't see anything popped over here. I don't see anything back there. This may be a case of one of this one is the one that had one good one. Maybe one just let go. Maybe it got overused, got overheated. We're going to throw a pair in it when they come in and give it a test and see what happens. We may blow up some more, but we'll troubleshoot some more. And I'll check the others. Okay, let's plug this thing in. I got a power cord. Plug it in. No smoke. We have a light. I've got it on DC volts. So we're going to put one to the ground. Watch here. We should have -5 here. We're at -4.2, and we should have -12 volt here. We got almost 12 volt. We got a 5 volt up here. This is the high one. It's a little high. Just adjust. I get a screwdriver where I can do this where I'm not blocking. Guys. So on these arcade power supplies, let's put this. Oh, there's the screw I missed. I found one and totally missed it. All right, you can watch the voltage over there. I can increase it or I can decrease it. Make it a solid 5.1 is what I would normally run everything at. Looks good. Now, a lot of times on these cheap arcade power supplies, you won't see the -5 perfect until it gets a little bit of a load to it. And a lot of times on the 12 volt will be a bit off also. But that's powered up fine. Looks like it's pretty good. Cool, we got one working, and we'll be working on a whole bunch more. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this. Take that extra screw out that I stuck in there, and put the correct one in. Hot diggity. Now we're going to, next video, I'm trying to shorten these up a little bit, make them a little more precise. This one hopefully covers that one little power supply, how to shop for some stuff, and then, hey, parts came in through the magic of YouTube. And so let's look through some of the things I got. These and these contacts are all for some monitor hookup stuff. But got that package of transistors. See, they are metal back. We are going to have to put an insulator tab there. Hooked up a whole bunch of different caps for different projects and stuff. This is some junk that really didn't need. Got these for a few of the arcade board repairs. Those are resistors, SIPs, single inline pins. It's a little resistor network. But I got a bunch of Worth capacitors here. Check 10. I don't know. I got several cheap capacitors. I don't always buy cheap. You know, these are Worths. These are these Kimmets are cheap. They're better than a lot of the crap you find in Chinese junk, even though these are made in China. They're at least made to a good standard. All these red ones are Worth. Worth's a good brand. But, you know, fixing these Chinese, these are just China built power supplies. There's Kimmet. Not my favorite. But, you know, they're okay. They work. You know, Worth makes higher end than these. I don't know if they color everything. Panasonic's awesome to have if you can get it. You'll notice right now, if you're buying parts right now, Nichicons and other stuff have all went through the roof. Those, see it? Those are Nichicon, but not always. So, you know, I try to get the best I can afford. Some things just aren't worth putting it in, but man, we got a bunch. What else do we get? Oh, the cartridge fuses. Tons of caps. I needed assortment of caps for a few projects and stuff. But these, remember we talked about an axial fuse? We picked a glass style. These came in, and they are beautiful. Nice long lead on them. We'll be able to put that fuse in and bend it down and install that real good. So awesome. I will start the next video out showing all the ones we're going to be doing. We'll throw the parts in, and we'll give them a test and hopefully wrap it all up. I'll keep trying to add in on all my little videos that I do here, me shopping for some of the components, at least a little blurb here or there to help people understand how to pick a few of those things, you know, diameters and other things, because it can, if you're just trying to learn, be massively overwhelming. You know, this is a electrolytic capacitor, and some people are like, oh, they didn't know that was the style. What's the difference between it and a ceramic capacitor and a poly capacitor and a, you know, all what kind? There's different kinds of film caps. There's polyfilm, there's metal film. So, you know, I'll try to start picking out those parts a little better sometimes, and decisions that I make. You know, if it's a good, high-quality amplifier, we may go with better quality stuff to make sure that it's got good signal path, or because it's, you know, more valuable than a cheap amplifier that we're just learning on or just kind of fixing so somebody can get a cheap amp up and running or whatever. We won't put high-end Nichicon top of the line in for it. We'll probably buy, especially if it's a cheap China-made amp, you know, that didn't have good stuff in it to begin with, we'll probably just replace it with, you know, just okay replacements so that it'll work again. Not everything has to be crazy, you know. You can some of the caps, when I looked through there, you know, the Nichicons were 5 times higher than just a regular cap, and you got to look at what you're putting those things in. Is it worth 5 times the cost for those components? Some things yes, some things no. And since I'm going to have so many power supplies, we don't need to put big buck stuff into them. We just need to fix them so they're working, so I can use them and, or, you know, loan them out to somebody or give them to somebody or sell them to somebody, whatever it takes. Once you got a bunch of them laying around, I'm probably going to use most of them, but you know, that's what you do. You got to balance whether or not you're putting on BF Goodrich tires or if you're going to put cheap Walmart tires on. So, you know, that's how you do it. Well, hopefully this helped a little bit. Make another short, fast video, hopefully, on the other one, putting it together, and we'll show a few more things, and I'll try to highlight the things like insulating those transistors and stuff, important parts. I'm trying to get rid of all the fluff, which I'm doing right now, fluff. So like, comment, subscribe. It really helps. Thank you guys. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.